your microphone, please. Well, I had to ask myself what sorts of interfaces I should address when we analyze how to create an entrepreneurial society and the role that professional education or vet education may play in our community and in our context. So, one of the things that came to my mind was why should we do this? Because we are highlighting the relevance of entrepreneurship just for self-employability, but not only for that, because we need entrepreneurs to change contexts, to change territories, to change industry sectors, and to change even governments. So it's a little bit difficult to ask others to be entrepreneurs if we are not willing to become entrepreneurially ourselves. And based from that premise, we have to think, how can we make academic institutions more entrepreneurial oriented? Okay? So we need to think on several issues here. Why should we promote entrepreneurship? Well, we know that technical education is changing constantly. Professor Pihet mentioned this morning in his intervention that in the 70s, technical schools, technical education was fascinating. But after 5 decades, how are we today? And how can we change? Now, not how can we change others, but how can we change ourselves and how can we change our impact in the society? Okay? And we need to address all these issues. And many of them have been already mentioned before. Okay? We talk about new modes of engagement with the stakeholders and local and regional environments. We cannot provide programs if we do not take into account the needs that we have in our local context. And not all the contexts are the same. Okay? There is pressure of measuring impact and meeting international quality standards. I was surprised this morning when I read, okay, we need quality assurance here. But quality assurance not based only on national standards, but in international standards, so that our system is fully recognized, not only in the region, but worldwide. Okay? Contributions to economic growth and well-being in society. So we are not talking about entrepreneurs to become then self-employed. We want entrepreneurs that are creating new jobs for others, that are creating rents, that are creating new habits and a new culture, okay? And we need role models. The numbers that I listened this morning for Egypt was that, well, we have 2 million students in the system. If we take the percentage of entrepreneurs that we have in Egypt, that is 10% approximately, which means that we may have 200,000 entrepreneurs that come from technical education in Egypt. Those are very good role players or role models to follow by other people, other students, other staff that work for technical education. Okay, new funding models. It seems that we rely heavily on government funding, but this is not the only way to sponsor programs. We need co-investment, co-support between private and public institutions, okay? Because if we engage stakeholders and they invest money, they are the ones that want first to get results, okay? The international orientation, we mentioned that. We want mobility inside the region, inside the country, or even between different regions. Europe, this region, it's good to foster mobility, not only for students, but also for staff, and also for people that it's working in the administration. So promoting entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial values becomes fundamental. That leads to our answer here. Why should technical education institutions promote entrepreneurship? Because we want to provide a value, a social value, not only an economic value, but a social value to our community, and we need to be entrepreneurial for that. Okay, what is an entrepreneurial academic institution? And I include here technical education, okay? Well, it should be a major source of skills and knowledge that drive innovation and growth. This seems very simple, because with many few words, we are saying many things here, okay? We are saying skills and knowledge for today and for tomorrow that drive innovation, change, and growth in our community. And we are responsible for delivering that, not only to students, but also to other stakeholders. A place for creating entrepreneurial mindsets, stimulating business creation, and exploiting new ideas and solutions in society. And the final thing that we need to take into account here is that it's a context-specific actor for change, okay? We saw the example of Finland, but if we think that we should replicate the example of Finland, this is a risky decision, because they have their own context. In Spain, we have our own context. In Egypt, we have a different context. In the region, there are several different contexts. There is not one single recipe for everyone, because the resources and capabilities that we have in our local environment are completely different. So if our ingredients are different, we cannot use the same solution for everyone. Okay, so there is no single model that can be followed. And however, I do think that we can learn a lot from other experiences. Exactly the same exercise that we are doing during these 2 days. Because there are things that perhaps are applicable to our context, but there might be some others that will not. But it might be good to take this moment to share our experiences and to see how things could be replicated in our local specific context. Okay, so we are talking about why this is important. We are talking about what an entrepreneurial university or technical education institution is. Let's talk now about how we can become more entrepreneurial, okay? If we are saying here that if we need to change ourselves first, we have to change ourselves, otherwise we would be happy with our results. If we are not happy with our results in our country, and if we are thinking on tomorrow's scenario, we need to change. And we have to start thinking, changing first ourselves, okay? So, first thing that we need to do, and this is what we are doing in Europe now, is just to rely on a method that we can use to assess how good we are doing now. That makes us think. We are saying, okay, this is how we are now, those are our weaknesses, those are our strengths, and let's think on an action plan so that we can improve ourselves, okay? And after implementing that action plan, we should measure, okay? So in Europe, we are using a method that has been designed by the European Union and the OECD that is called HEINNOVATE. HEINNOVATE stands for Higher Education Institutions that are becoming entrepreneurially to change their institutions, okay? I will explain this later because I will have 2 more sessions, one in the afternoon, and I will explain the method that you can use in your institutions, in your countries, to self-assess yourselves whether you are behaving entrepreneurially or not. And if you are not meeting your expectations, this is a method that allows you to think how you can improve, okay? At least this is what we are using in Europe, and I thought that it would be interesting to share that with you, okay? So this is a self-assessment tool for higher education institutions who wish to explore their entrepreneurial innovative potential, okay? So if you want to behave entrepreneurially, this is a tool to assess yourselves how good you are doing. The purpose of this tool is to help technical education institutions identify their current situation and potential areas for action. So basically, the process that we follow is to assess, to think, to act, and to measure. Probably right now, what we are doing is we are acting, but perhaps we are not measuring the impact that we are having. I have seen in the presentations this morning that there are a lot of competition awards, there are a lot of professors that are engaged in disseminating this entrepreneurial culture, but I have not heard yet about what is the potential to create firms. What is the potential to create new jobs? What is the potential to innovate? How this system is working in the society? Because we are using funds, public funds, government funds, sometimes private funds, to meet some expectations. I miss this final part there because there is a lot of action. I'm not saying that there is no information, but I have not seen that information about the impact yet. And I think that this is fundamental, and this is very important because we want to have impact. We want to know how others are doing so that we can do the same or even improve that. Okay, so in this method, we analyze 8 broad areas because we take here a systemic approach. We are taking academic institutions, but we are taking into account the financial community, we are taking into account the role that the administration, the government plays, we are talking about the role that other supporting institutions are playing here, like research parks or science parks, incubation centers, and so on and so forth, okay? These are the ones that I will discuss later. Okay, this is my last slide. So, if you are interested in this method, you can try that in this website, okay? It's heinovate.eu. If you enter there, you will have access to this tool. I will make those slides available to you through Professor Hani Madgur so that you have the information at hand, okay? And if you have questions, you can always contact me. But if you go there, you will go just to this tool, self-assessment tool, and it's open to all higher education institutions. It's free of charge. You don't need to pay anything. You have to sign in on the website. There is a login. You enter, and then you can use it. It's available in all EU languages, but you can do it in English or in French if you feel more comfortable, or in Spanish. And it's intentionally open and flexible, so you decide how to organize and use results, okay? So, not only that, there is a lot of material that is there that you can use it for your own, or if you want to make a presentation, there are slides that you can use for discussing this with other stakeholders in your community. If you want to share this with other professors, if you want to share this with financial institutions, banking institutions, or potential donors, because they might be stakeholders of your system, well, they can participate if you create a group and you get the input, the feedback from them, because that way you will have rich information, you will have a better self-assessment, and you will be better prepared to think, to act, and to measure, okay? And I am done. Thank you very much. This is not a tool for ranking, this is not a tool for benchmarking. You can do that. In fact, we will do that between today and tomorrow. I will explain you the method more slowly this afternoon, but tomorrow I think that the first session you have with me. So if you did not wake up yet, I'm sure that I will make you wake up soon. So I will ask you to kindly group together, and we will go through this self-assessment. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Ianca. So I think the presentations we had kind of, walked us slowly from the idea that Dr. Radiat actually presented, and I thought it was very interesting because I never thought about an always thought of entrepreneurs, but not intrapreneurs. And I was thinking, it would be interesting to talk about, how can we introduce or promote such thinking of intrapreneurship, not only entrepreneurship, in our universities and colleges, probably integrating such teaching in our courses. The other thing is also Dr. Marty presented to us which was quite unique, I think, is what we miss in many of our countries, is that bridging between TVET and higher education or other options of education. And that kind of, I think, breaks the stigma we have in our countries of TVET education, vocational education and technology. And Dr. Inaka also, you talked about the impact. I think it is very important for us to start thinking of the impact we will have early on, and we look forward to your forthcoming presentations as well. I will open it up to the audience. We have about 10 to 15 minutes of questions. We'll take 2 to 3 questions, and then we'll give the chance to our panelists to answer. Yes, we have a question there, please.
It works. Thank you. Our colleague from Finland. I know that there is a major issue in your country which is very important, that after the basic education there is this orientation, and I have noticed that about 50% of the students choose, without any pressure, choose to go to vocational or general. In the secondary education, vocational or general education. This is the major problem that we have in Lebanon and in most of the countries. How you succeed, this is the question that we like to ask, how you succeed at the level of this basic education in the system to manage these orientations? Because I think it's in this process that you do in your curricula, your programs, certainly there is somehow something who push the students, orient the students to go on more and more towards vocational, which we didn't succeed till now, and unfortunately in Lebanon. We tried, but I think there is somehow a point in your system which is important that orient toward that. Thank you.
We'll take a couple more questions, please.